Incremental things. SuperMemo will confuse you before it helps you. What? What do you mean by that? Yeah, of course, SuperMemo is super helpful, but not at day one. Perhaps not at day 2 or 3 or 4. At the beginning, it will be very confusing. But here are my 2 cents why this is actually a good thing. Why SuperMemo can feel confusing at first? There's a unique approach. It is very different from the traditional study methods. So if you come from a school, what's called the Prussian school system, that basically is the school we know in modern era. You have a lot of skills that are quite required, and we don't know how to use them, or you have some habits that go against you. Second factor is that it's non-linear. This takes a while for the brain to get used to it. Then it becomes second nature, effortlessly. But it needs time. It's like, what? At the beginning. Then SuperMemo, the software, not because if it's incremental reading, but because how it's implemented is complex. And you have an initial complexity. There are many features, and it's unclear what is the purpose. So there's a good analogy, and it's with Wikipedia. Let's say that, hey, I'm getting infections, that's actually real, my case. After COVID, I get infections often that never happened in my life. Then, hey, let me take some supplements. Vitamin C, let's hope that with vitamin C, ascorbic acid, I get better, right? Then, okay, let me go to Wikipedia. Let's do that, actually. I just Google vitamin C. Look, the first thing are already supplements. Wikipedia. Then, vitamin C, also known as ascorbic acid. In my case, I knew that. Oh, there's yet another name, okay. It's a water-soluble vitamin from citrus, Then is, what? Scurvy? Collagen, and what is enzymatic? What is antioxidant? What is a neurotransmitter? Then is, wow. There's way too much jargon, right? In this case, I only care about the definition. So will be, I don't know, only this, right? The very basic, I don't need the entire article. This happened to me when I was learning English with a paper dictionary that the definition included other words that I didn't know either, and I had to check those words. And again, it used a word that I didn't know, and I needed to do it once again. So this is what will happen in SuperMemo, that I get a definition that, okay, let's say the outstanding queue, what is this? Outstanding, oh yeah, but what is an element? Oh, what is this, what is that? Then you don't stop checking, because everything is interlinked, it's referencing each other. So until you don't get familiar with the basics, that when you revisit that definition, now I know the requisite knowledge, now I understand it, right? But at the beginning, everything is new, doesn't make sense at all. So this is what happens in SuperMemo. All of these, the mercy. So imagine, just to make my point very quickly, I was confused when I went there. Is learn, review, revolve, dilute, spread, remember, forget, dismiss, and dismiss, postpone, advance. What is dilute? What is a spread? Or what is this? Subtract subset file, intersect subset file, intersperse subset. What is all of this jargon? I'm actually lost. This is how I also felt. So tip, expect to feel lost initially. You cannot avoid that. This confusion means you're learning a new way to learn. That, hey, this non-linear thing doesn't make sense. You won't get it. But it's because it's new. It's not a different technique. It's actually a new technique. But it's not just that. It's because it's a different paradigm. That is a massive toll for the brain to get it. You need to rewire a lot. Then, the initial struggle is very common. You feel more overwhelmed by the jargon, the options, the features, The features they mention stuff that you don't even comprehend. Okay, I get that it's non-linear, but other than that, I don't get the flow, stuff like this. Then you have difficulty managing the repetitions, the priorities. I get what they mean, but how do I decide the priority, and so on. You're not sure what deserves more attention. There's a lot of stuff. Where do I start? So in this course, I have set some order. It's not arbitrary. There's a lot of thought put on that order, but it's not unique. I could have changed a little the order. That will still make sense. So, more or less to quote one of the thoughts. SuperMemo first reveal gaps in your habits before it improves your learning. It is like a wake-up call that, oh, I realized I had this habit, and this habit, perhaps for decades, or could I say my entire life, and now realize that that was actually a bad habit. I thought it was a good thing to do, and it's actually not. That's why, hey, I don't get this, or it doesn't work. I don't get the big picture. It's because this. It shows you to your face, hey, there's something lacking here. But again, SuperMemo doesn't teach you the content. SuperMemo doesn't teach you anything. It just shows to you what you decided to remember, or what you want to read again, or continue reading. It doesn't teach you anything. In this case, metaphorically, it teaches you the bad habits, because you will realize, hey, this is not working, this doesn't make sense, to your face. So why this confusion is valuable? It identifies the weak points with your previous study methods or learning methods. For me, this was gold. I would have paid what I paid for the degrees I had, the bachelor's and master degrees I had, for just this. To realize, to become aware, oh wow, I have lost a lot of time in my life with inefficient methods. Then, how to get them? It's self-directed. You can get help with tutoring, which I provide. It's still a challenge. It's not, oh, it's tutoring, it's passive, and that's it. No. You still have a challenge, but it's a lot easier than if you are on your own. So it forces this reconsideration of your learning strategy. It creates a cognitive dissonance. If it doesn't create a cognitive dissonance, it's because you didn't realize yet. You have moved on from SuperMemo too soon, or you just install it, you're just following the course, and it's way too soon. But you will get there. So, leads to SuperMemo, this confusion that SuperMemo creates leads to powerful insights into memory and retention. You will realize how little you knew about learning science. You have learned a lot of stuff, but you didn't learn how to learn. So there's a tip. This confusion you feel at the start will guide your most important judgments later. So this confusion is something actually required, needed, positive thing, temporary. Should I say, I hope, temporary, but not 2 days, and that's it. It will be still on the long term, but it's temporary. Then, breaking through the confusion. Start small. Start with a tiny collection. Don't overdo it. More is not better. Usually, the opposite is true in SuperMemo. If you want, no, I'm a special, or I'm super intelligent, that won't be my case. No, because you need the interruption. If you do more, then you have fewer interruptions in between. So let's say you have more opportunities to do mistakes or to repeat the same mistake more times before you realize. So more or less what you have done is wasting more time. Then gradual add complexity. That is the premise of the Plausible Guide to SuperMemo. There's a lot of stuff. Since I know almost everything in SuperMemo, I present this whenever I think it's convenient, not at the beginning. That is kind of a mistake I did with the full React course. That hey, let's introduce the A factor and everything I knew about the A factor for topics, for items. For items not needed, you can modify it here, there, there's a use case for this. No, it's hey, I'm letting you know this exists. Just because we need it for something else, we introduce this window, this dialog, or this concept. It will wait. Or then, hey, we only need to know how to set it up, how to turn it on or off. But the metrics and the use cases, these will come. Incremental. Same thing. Trust the log process. In case you follow this course, you have to trust me. You have to trust my word, but also my facts. Because if you check my channel, you will see that I have already spent thousands of hours doing more than 1,000 of videos. So I wouldn't do this course with more than 2,000 videos if I didn't believe that, right? If it was not convinced. So take this as some token of proof, because I will not want to waste 1,000 hours of my time, right? Then, the best SuperMemo users embrace early confusion to achieve clarity later. This, at some degree, is personality trait. Some people, because of their personality, they will embrace it sooner or easier. Some people will have a lot of friction, or they are like, I want results now, tomorrow at the latest. Not going to happen. You need to embrace this confusion, and eventually it makes sense. A good analogy is a language you have learned after 12 years old, after the critical period, and a few years later, that hey, you are no longer native of that language. It doesn't make much sense. It's super expensive, super costly, but eventually you do the click and hey, now I'm able to produce that language enough that I don't have to think in a different language and translate, right? It becomes natural. It is automatized enough. Same thing with SuperMemo. It's very cloudy. It's a constant fight every day, but eventually, now makes sense. If I want to do my session, I know what to do, how it translates in the software. Eventually, you will do that. You'll need hundreds of videos of this course. First, your own experience, because it's not a substitution. You still need to do your own experience, and then you will do the click. You will no longer be confused, or the confusions will be tiny and isolated. So then, when SuperMemo starts to click, when you recognize patterns in your learning, you're experiencing more intuitive management of knowledge, that you kind of see your own style, your own preference. I don't mean learning a style, by the way, the style of incremental reading. That, hey, I prefer it this way, not this other way. Matter of taste. It's not because it's better or more powerful. It's because I prefer it like this, right? Then, not seeing increased retention without extra effort. That will be more in the soft skills of formulation of knowledge. So tip, patience is essential. The real value becomes obvious only after sustained use. So imagine it's not as a good analogy. Imagine you have a bad weather. It's very cloudy, or you have fog, and you're driving with that fog constantly. But eventually, you will get home. Then imagine that this fog stays for 4 months, and every day you need to commute through the fog. It's, oh my God, what a pain! And every day it's not that it's going away, it's fading away. No, it's been three days. And it's still as intense as day one. So more or less, it will be the same, that you need a lot of patience to tolerate this fog for so long, even if you know that in 4 months it will be gone for sure, guaranteed. You still want to give up sooner. that I don't want to wait for months for this fog to go away. It's too much of an ask. So more or less it goes in that direction. Then, confusion is a sign of progress. If you feel confusion, you're actively engaging with new ideas. You're doing something on your brain, creating new connections. So it's actually something good. Or you want to remove, get rid of, unlearn bad habits, which for me it's more taxing than acquiring new habits, especially when it comes to learning. And also depends on your age. I was 30 when I started SuperMemo. I was 22 when I started Space Repetition. So then, yeah, it's been 16 years already. Confusion usually precedes breakthrough. First you get confused, then you have this breakthrough, the quote-unquote revelation, that I see the light. Like Matrix, if you have seen Matrix, is when Neo, at the end of the first movie, sees Matrix, sees the patterns, the strings, the zeros and whatever, the machine thing, not the human interpretation of the Matrix. If you have watched the movie, it will make sense. So that's a piece of encouragement. Stick with it. It doesn't make sense. Wait. It will make sense. Not tomorrow either, not next week, and perhaps not even next month. But after a few months, it will make sense. This initial confusion is temporary, albeit quite long, but the benefits last a lifetime. So just not because you don't want to quote-unquote suffer, it's not the right word, but to make my point, a few months, you sacrifice a lifetime. It's too the price to pay is super expensive. It's a few months to tolerate this fog, right? Oh my God, what a pain. But the absence of incremental reading in your life, in the information era, is too much of a sacrifice. So then, what's the takeaway? Early confusion is normal and beneficial. Do not get rid of the confusion. If you have the goal to remove the confusion, it's a wrong goal already. You cannot do incremental reading. You will be able to do Quizlet if you want, but not incremental reading. SuperMemo is designed to challenge your old learning habits. To make my point, it's not the purpose that, hey, let's challenge people. No, it's because it's a different paradigm. Just because it will challenge your learning habits, and since it's specialized for this self-directed learning paradigm, and it's optimized for this, and is designed for this flow, for this paradigm, then we could say it's designed to challenge this. Unless you're one of the very few people who never set foot in the school system, so mainly it's only legal in 3 countries in the world, to my knowledge, it won't be the case for you. Then success is measured by long-term clarity, not immediate ease. So final thought. Allow yourself to be confused. Mastery comes after confusion, never before. Embrace the fog. After the fog, imagine a lifetime of sunshine, guaranteed for life. But first you need to go through the fog. You want to avoid the fog, but then you will have rainy days, awful days, every other day for the rest of your life. To follow the metaphor of the weather, even though the weather is quite arbitrary, but I think it's enough to get my point across. That has been all about SuperMemo will confuse you before it helps you. But when it helps you, oh my God, you don't want to go back to traditional methods, even to just a space repetition without incremental reading. Remember, there will be a specialized section, more than one, about incremental reading theory, because there's way too much stuff to explain. But we will see this later in the course, not now. You have plenty of confusion to go through in between. That's all for now. See you incrementally.